Good afternoon, Wealth Our Way Nation. What is going on? It is your man, Charles Tank Harris, the founder and chief visionary officer of the financial literacy platform Wealth Our Way, where our motto is wealth is not only for the wealthy. I want to welcome each and every one of you to episode 59, Budgeting Made Simple. I want to first and foremost thank each and every one of you who are live with me as we stream across the Wealth Our Way Facebook and YouTube platforms. I want to give that salute and shout out to the Wealth Our Way Nation members who watch this program pre-recorded overnight, over the weekends, wherever they can squeeze 15 minutes of financial literacy in. And then the heartfelt, how are you and what's good to my Life 101 platform members who listen to the audio of this here program. I got some really, really good feedback from a member of the Life 101 platform. I appreciate it. He knows who I'm talking about. I will definitely keep in contact. We've been going back and forth on the inbox, and I love the feedback. I sincerely appreciate you listening. It really makes me continue to do what I'm doing when I know that the audience out there is getting good content from what I'm creating. So I appreciate the feedback. A couple of things I want to talk about before I get into today's broadcast. First is, if you see the banner below, please note that for the second time, yes, the second time, I am changing the date of the webinar. This time, first time I wasn't prepared. I'm gonna keep it funky with you. I always tell you the truth. It came up on me so quick, I wasn't prepared. I said, let's push it back into September so I'm not doing a rushed webinar. But then as I was preparing for the webinar, somebody brought up that we are almost in business for a year here at Wealth Our Way. We launched last year on October 14th. A lot of you were part of that launch party presentation. And I said to myself, why not do an anniversary webinar? Like tie the webinar, because it still stays in the same dates of the contest, tie the webinar to our anniversary date. And this really solved a big problem for me because the webinar is robust. There's a lot of information that's going to be in the webinar. And I think the best way to do it is to break it down into 3 30-minute sessions as opposed to one 90-minute session and quite honestly, put people to sleep. Because although the information is dope, nobody's going to sit there for 90 minutes and stay tuned and 100% focused. So we will be launching the webinar for the contest on anniversary of George Floyd's birthday and the anniversary of the launch of Wealth Our Way, which will be October 14th. That is a Thursday. So the webinar will air on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then anybody who's in the webinar will have the ability to watch it at their leisure whenever they desire. But the dates of launch will be the 14th, 15th, and 16th of October. All of that information is going across the bottom of the screen. With that information, I also want to say, I don't come on here just to hear myself talk. I know a lot of people know I like to talk, but I really want and need to know that the information that I'm giving you guys is actionable. So I listen to other financial pundits. I listen to motivational YouTubes and things of that nature. And one of the things that and it's on my accountability call every morning, one of the things we're discussing right now as we get ready for the fourth quarter of the calendar year is actionable items. What can we do to actually move the needle on our goals, get closer to our plans coming to fruition? So I wanted to go back to an oldie and a goodie. Anybody who knows Charles Tank Harris and knows Wealth Our Way knows that everything on a financial journey starts with a budget. Nothing can move without us knowing where we are financially and having an ideology of how we wish to proceed financially. So I wanted to take this opportunity today to talk about budgeting made simple, because I believe the budgeting process can be very overwhelming for people. It can be very restrictive for people. And as human beings, we do not like giving up things that we enjoy to do. So I wanted to make a budget 15 minutes today that kind of hit some highlights on how you can start budgeting if you're not already doing it. Also, just for a refresher's sake, talk about what a budget is. I'm on a lot of email lists myself. I got an email today talking about what you should spend when is an okay time to break into your emergency savings? Anyone who knows anything about what we've been talking about budget wise knows that there is a category for emergency savings. So when is it appropriate to go into our emergency savings? What makes our emergency money different from our regular savings? What makes our regular savings different from our investments? So I wanted to touch on these things today. Also let you know tomorrow I'll be in transit, but I am going to record or broadcast, I should say, 15 Minutes of Finance, most likely from the road. And tomorrow we will kind of have a Q&A session and just talk about the state of our finances and the state of the world, because if you guys are not consciously aware of it right now, we are 2 days before the anniversary, the 20-year anniversary, if I'm not mistaken, of the horrific events that happened in this country on 9/11. I want to say it was 9/11/2001, and we are at 9/11/2021. So we're going to have a reflection day tomorrow, and then on Monday we're going to jump right into the heart of a new financial topic. So with that being said, let's talk about budgeting made simple. The number one thing that I find for people who have even given making a budget at all is that they confuse what a budget is versus what tracking their expenditures and their revenues are. That is a very, very common mistake that people make. So I want to reiterate for everybody that there is a difference between stating in writing where we wish to spend our money versus actually keeping track of how our money was spent. One is not 100% functional without the other. It's great for us to list out that 22% of our revenue will go to housing expenses, 15% will go toward retirement investments, 5% will go to short-term savings, 5% emergency savings, 15% personal expenditures, 15% child expenses. It's great to list all of that. If you are not at the end of a month tracking to see how close you stayed in those parameters, you're missing the point. When we work on our budget, the very first thing that we need to do is commit it to writing. We had the 14-day financial fast here at WOW, and we talked about committing things to writing. So here's my tip number one for budgeting made simple. If you are not budgeting, or if you are, this is what they say at church, if you've been saved, but you've been backsliding, come recommit yourself to God. If you've been budgeting, but you've not been real tight with your budget, come recommit to budgeting today. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to keep it simple. Let's budget for 1 week. Let's make a commitment that whether it's tomorrow, which is Friday, we can go Friday to Friday, or start on Monday, we are going to literally write out where we want all of our income to go for 1 week. Now, if you're having trouble saying, hey, well, Tank, my mortgage or my rent's not due, I won't pay this bill, think about it on a monthly basis. Think about where your money goes every month, but we're only going to commit to doing it for 1 week. We have to find a way to take action. And I'm trying my best to find ways to tweak here and motivate here so that we actually do the things we're learning here on 15 Minutes of Finance. I believe in exercise where we write down where our money is supposed to go for 1 week and then actually track where it went for that week will be an eye-opening experience for everyone within the sound of my voice. So if you are using some form of electronic tool, if you're a Wealth Our Way Nation member and you have the WOW portal powered by eMoney, great. If you have pen and paper, great. If you're using an app, great. Just do it. My brother, my OG, my man from TU, Joe Greenwood, just commented that he has to stop eating out as much. Yo, me too. I did an exercise where I looked at all of my credit cards and I stopped using debit cards, but all of my credit cards, and I totaled my eating out for 90 days. It is no wonder my weight's back up, and it's no wonder my credit card balances were over the 30%. I like to keep them under because I am constantly, when I went to Miami a couple weeks ago, I had a Uber Eats or a DoorDash bill that was $132 for DoorDash. I had lunch the other day. It was $48. Now, all of a sudden, it's becoming very conscious to me when I spend money. Why is it conscionable to me though? It's in my conscience. It's in the forefront of my thought process because I talk about it every day. We measure and grow when we are focused on something. If we're not thinking about it, it's out of sight, out of mind. So by all means, use an app. Erica commented that she likes Mint and the YNAB app. Any app is good. I'm not here to endorse or dismiss any app. The key is using something that you're going to use. There are many different ways to skin this cat, so to speak. Is it legal to say skin the cat? Or is PETA going to call me? I don't know. Don't skin no cats, people. I'm sorry. But there's many, many ways to tackle this obstacle. But if we tackle this obstacle by writing things down, that will be the best start. So tip number one, we want to do it for a week. Tip number two, my man Tony Robbins says personalities vary on one or two sides. We either have a run to personality or a run from personality. A run to personality is my personality. You give me an incentive, you dangle a carrot in front of me, and I'll come running to it to try to accomplish whatever gets me that reward. A run from personality is someone who's petrified of things going wrong if they don't do the right thing, and they'll move away from harm. I don't necessarily move away from harm. I'm always in trouble, and I learned to navigate that at an early age. But if you offer me a reward, I'm your guy. I'm going to do what's required. Find out what personality you are. Do you want to avoid a bad consequence or get a bonus? And promise yourself that thing at the end of your week. If you do not have some motivation associated with this process, you won't do it. So tip number one, shorten the time frame. Let's do a sample budget for 1 week. And the budget is going to be allocating where every dollar goes, and at the end of the week, measuring where it went. If you need any help with that whatsoever, please inbox info@wealthourway.com or admin@wealthourway.com. Renee can put it in the chat and we'll help you out. We have downloadable on the Wealth Our Way website a budget tool. So there's no reason for you not to be able to keep track of it for a week other than you chose not to do it. So first thing is we're going to set it for a week. Thing two, we're going to find a way to motivate ourselves to actually do it. Thing three, the easiest way for you to make sure that things one and things two happen, grab an accountability partner. You have many people who come here every day who are in the chat. We are in the process of making the Wow Mighty Network where everybody will be able to exchange information and in a free forum and be able to help each other out with ideas. I've already been able to pass on, in Wild Nation, my high-end clients, we have a Zoom meeting where we go over investment ideas. We used to do it quarterly. It's been a little slow with COVID, but I get approached for all types of different investments. And rather than just work with the one client who brought it to me, if there's an opportunity to help other clients, I bring it to other clients and say, hey, here's an opportunity to get involved in something, real estate, cannabis, whatever the situation may be. You guys need to lean on other like-minded people. I did a podcast the other day. A brother interviewed me and I told him that, hey, at the end of the day, your network is your net worth. You want to surround yourself with people who are where you want to be and beyond. If you surround yourself with the right group, they say our income is normally the net income of the 5 closest people closest to that we spend the most time together. So think of the people you spend the most time with, take those top 5 people, add all their incomes up, divide by 5. That's normally how much money you're making. If that's not the case, then, the math could be off, but I argue that it most likely will be. If the number is not where you want to be, change your circle. Get a better circle. The better you put the people around you, the more likely you'll do better things. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make budgeting simple this week. We're going to break it down to a week. We're going to write it down. We're going to use an electronic app or tool. We're going to find out what motivates us. Are we run to personality or run from personality? And we're going to link up with an accountability partner to walk through this process with. And then we're going to revisit this in a week. So with that being said, I look forward to commiserating my weight loss numbers tomorrow, because I'm going to step on the scale tomorrow. It's been a while, but I also just want to talk to you guys about what's going on in life as we prepare for the fourth quarter, and just get ready for the weekend, and also, memorialize all of the tragic events that happened 20 years ago this Saturday. So Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Remember, our motto here at Wealth Our Way is wealth is not only for the wealthy. See you all and have a great day.